Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Llewellyn's 2024 moon sign book. Plan Your Life by the Cycles of the Moon, Comprehensive Gardening Guide, Weather and Economic Forecasts, New and Full Moon Horoscopes. So I have not had one of these ones before, and so when the library actually sent me an email being like, hey, you seem interested in this. These I just barely got in. Do you want? And I was like, yes, please, thank you. So, like, literally, June 2023 is when they came to the library, which is awesome, because, like, I love to get new witchy books. Hopefully they get more of Llewellyn's books. So, this is one of those books that, like, again, I've been a witch for so many years now. It'll be 14 years this autumn. And so it's pretty rare for me to feel like, oh my, I don't know that I know nothing about anything right now, and that's how I felt with this book. This is definitely for the advanced. And like, that seems kind of weird for like a yearbook thing, but like, it is so for the advanced. Now, it's like a specific genre of advanced, but like, I was uberly lost. And it's like, I've read so many books. Oh my God. And like, it was a lot. So I would definitely say this is an advanced book. You need to be advanced on moon astrology stuff, because that's what this is all about. And it's very heavily based on, you already know what stuff is, it's just telling you it for this year, which is fine. I just know that this is probably not for me, because like, wow, that is way beyond my skill level, and I don't care that much. Like, there was a few interesting things that I was like, I mean, there's a lot of, I didn't know that, but one of them was like, the full moon is like always the same sign as like what the sun sign is at that time. So like, right now it's gonna be the crab season, so it would be the crab season, and then during the full moon it's also going to be the crab, like the moon is going to be in the sign of the crab, because I don't like the real word, that's why I don't use it. If you follow like law of attraction, you use stuff, putting that word out there, it has different meanings now, so we need to find a new name for it. All of the others are fine. That one in particular, I'm just like, we gotta change it. So are the crabs for now, till we can find a better name. And that for the new moon, this is when it's the exact opposite. I don't know what my opposite is. I think it's Capricorn. I think. I could be wrong. I don't really know my astrology terribly well, because I know Capricorn is like December-ish, but I don't know if it would count for like, what is it, like Sagittarius before, and then moves into Capricorn. I don't know which one it would fall into. I don't know. I need to make me a wheel of the astrology so I can look at it and cross-point stuff. But that said, like, I didn't know that. I don't know if that's every year, if it just happened to fall that way this year. Don't know. That was kind of like, oh, that's like interesting. I could kind of get on board with doing that with the moon, so that's kind of cool. I like that. I don't know if that's how it's always been. I've never actually paid that much attention or connected those dots. It also talks about like all the other more complex things of astrology stuff connected to the moon, and it talks about like the hourly transitions of things, which is like, okay, and then it's all based on Eastern time, so you do have to adjust to whatever time zone you're in, plus daylight savings, which is like, that's a lot of math. And like more, I think Utah might actually be leaving that. I know that was on like the bill to be passed, please, but I don't know if it actually went through or not. I don't really follow the news. It's just one of those where you kind of hear about it, kind of. But anyways, so like there's a lot of stuff in here that like astrology wise is like quite complex. You need to be at least intermediate to advanced on that topic. And then from there, this book, some of it I was like, how would you know? Like, there was one section in here that literally was doing week by week weather guesstimations. And I'm like, how are you gonna, because like the map is like the zones of the United States, right? So Utah is in, I think it was zone 7, and it's like California, Nevada, Utah, I think it's Arizona that's below us. I think New Mexico is like kind of this way. But like, that section of the US is 7, and it's like, we're all supposed to have the same weather? And then it was like, well, the eastern half is gonna have this and the western half is gonna have this, and you're like, what? Okay. Like, it makes me want to go get this year's to be like, did you call it? Because we have had some funky weather this year. It is still not warm. Like, usually by this time of the year, solstice time, it is hot. It has been rainy and cold. We've had one day that's 80 degrees, which is not really common by June. Usually by June, it is hot. You want to go to the lakes, you want to go to a pool. It's miserable. You gotta get your sprinklers out, because if you don't, your trees and plants are gonna die. We haven't needed to. It's been raining every single day. It stopped snowing, transitioned to rain, and that's where we're at. It's weird. I do appreciate the water. There's also horoscopes that truly did feel exactly like the horoscopes that you would read. And like I used to read at my last job, where I would be bored waiting for patients and they had like the little news pop-up thingy and it would show your daily horoscopes. You'd read that. Those, like you find in like the newspapers. That's what it felt like. And then a decent amount of this book is based on gardening, and like the stuff was just weird. Like, I'm not super big on planning everything down to like specific days to do things out of the month because of where the moon's at. Like, specifically, like, you have to like trim your dog's nails on like the 1st and 10th of the month. Like, I'm gonna do it when I feel like it. So, no. And like, specific days and signs that you're supposed to like plant these things in your garden, do this with your garden. A lot of this was gardening, and it was just kind of like, no, no, it's not gonna work. Like, it was just weird, and like, I don't know why they're having, there's a lot of questioning and like generalization of stuff that I'm like, I feel like that doesn't apply. Like, planting certain things at certain times of the year is going to be different where you're at. Because the planting season for, like, California and, like, the planting requirements from California, Utah, to, like, New Hampshire, to, like, Montana are gonna be different. Like, it's just a fact of life. Even Utah, we have our own things. Like, if you were planting in southern Utah versus northern Utah is very different. It's very different climates. So it was just like random stuff like that I'm like, I don't know about that. But again, most of this book was, again, heavily based on gardening. I'm not really a gardener because like, typically we live in a desert here, so we don't, like, unless you're a farmer most of the time. And like, nothing grows where I live. We've tried. We're lucky that the grass lives. So like, just be grateful for what we can grow. Food is never grown. People have tried, neighbors have tried, it never works. Unless you grew them in like containers on your porch, maybe. But even then, our temperature drops so much, especially like spring and fall in the night, that like, it's just gonna die. So I'll just go to the store. It's fine. Other people can do their gardens, and that's wonderful. And some people can do really good at it. I just don't have a desire. I'd rather have pretty flowers. So anyways, that said, this is one of those books, if you are advanced or you're really wanting to stretch your ability to be like, yeah, I got this, you might really enjoy this book. I don't know that I would do these ones again because like, again, just a lot of this I was like, didn't really apply to me. And like, there's like fortunate and unfortunate days, and I'm like, that's saying a lot. Somebody could be having a really good day, another person could have a really bad day on the exact same day. And like, maybe there's like astrology reasons behind it, or maybe just things happen. I don't know. It's just, it was interesting. I'm glad I rented it from the library. I don't know that I'm gonna go with this one again. They have a lot of yearbooks that come out. The 2020 whatever, blah, blah, blah books. I just don't know that I'm gonna do one of these ones again. So anyways, I would love to hear if you have gotten these. How do you use it? Do you use it often? All that stuff in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names here on the screen. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillercrafts. Make sure to check out my blog. That is where I post all of my content. If you want to check out all of my things that I'm doing, along with my books, they are there if you'd like to check them out. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.